From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, February 14th, 2017. Silver is trading at $17.86 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,226 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 2.4 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $992. Antiwar.com reports while the U.S. is still insisting there is no evidence of any civilians killed in Friday's attacks on the Helmand province, the United Nations has conducted a preliminary assessment and found at least 18 civilians killed in the U.S. airstrikes, overwhelmingly women and children. This is roughly in line with local estimates, which put the civilian death toll at 22 in the airstrikes, which destroyed a number of homes in the village of Lakari. The village is under the control of the Taliban and used as one of several staging areas against Lashkar-Gah. Reports suggest that the U.S. was attempting to target Taliban forces who occupy the village's mosque, but ended up hitting nearby residential neighborhoods instead, leveling homes and burying a number of civilians within. The U.S. has promised a formal review, but so far only of the credibility of the allegations and not of the death toll itself. This unwillingness to take such incidents seriously after initial reports is a big part of why official U.S. reports tend to underreport the death tolls quite significantly, as by the time they decide something is credible enough to investigate, all the victims have been buried for several months. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports the U.S. Coast Guard is searching for 3 people aboard a missing Seagull engine plane that was flying in western Florida. In St. Petersburg, the Coast Guard received a report at 5:21 p.m. Sunday from Flight Service Station Gainesville that a white and brown aircraft failed to arrive at Cedar Key by noon from Brooksville. Cedar Key is 85 miles northwest of Brooksville. A flight plan was not filed. WFST-TV reported a 65-year-old man, a 60-year-old woman, and a teenage boy were aboard the plane. The last known radar contact from the aircraft was at 11:06 a.m. when the plane was approximately 7 miles south of Cedar Key, according to the Air Force Rescue Coordination Center. The Coast Guard dispatched a helicopter from Air Station Clearwater and a 27-foot special-purpose craft shallow water boat from Station Yankeetown. Also assisting in the search are the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, Levy County Fire and Rescue, and Cedar Key Fire and Rescue. Coast Guard officials are focusing the search on an area of water the size of Tampa, but fog in the area was slowing them down. In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. But Mr. Drake's security company has seen better days. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. But at what cost? And can anyone stop him? Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports storm waters receded on Monday behind the nation's tallest dam in Northern California as engineers raced to drain the rain-swollen reservoir and shore up a crumbling overflow channel before new storms sweep the region later in the week. Authorities said they had averted the immediate danger of a catastrophic failure, one capable of unleashing a wall of water 3 stories tall on towns below. But evacuation orders for nearly 200,000 people remain in effect indefinitely, according to Butte County Sheriff Corey Honea at a midday news conference. The risk to those living in the Feather River Valley below the Lake Oroville Dam, 65 miles north of Sacramento, was still being reviewed. Honea said, "We need to have time to make sure that before we allow people back into those areas, it is safe to do so." Residents below the dam were abruptly ordered from their homes on Sunday when an emergency spillway that acts as an automatic overflow channel appeared on the brink of collapse from severe erosion during what is on track to be Northern California's wettest winter on record after years of drought. Environmental groups had warned for more than a decade that the dam spillway was not safe. Brown said he was pleased by U.S. President Donald Trump's promise to pursue a $1 trillion infrastructure program, adding, "I'll strive to make sure California gets 12%, referring to the state's share of the U.S. population. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.